so I'm here with my super reliable 1997 Toyota Corolla, and well, check engine light starts flashing, and it starts running bad. Even these super reliable mid-90s Toyota Corollas need some maintenance every once in a while. So let's get in here and I'll bring you in and we'll show you what we got going on. All right, so the other night I was on my way after having visited my son, and I was headed to our Hot Rod Club meeting, first one of the year, and all of a sudden the pulled up to a red light and I felt the engine begin to buck, and did it once or twice, took off, smoothed out, and then pulled up to the next red light, and then it was bucking even worse, and then by the third traffic light that I got to, it was at a steady dead miss. So I figured I knew how long it had been since I'd put plugs in it. I was like, well, it needs a set of plugs, so we're going to start with. So I installed a set of spark plugs in it, cleaned a couple of things, thought it was fixed. Car ran fine. Brought me home about 20 some odd miles, took me back to work 20 some odd miles, and well, it started doing it again. So what did we find? The way it was acting, I figured it was either something to do with the cap or something to do with a spark plug wire, because there's not a whole lot that can go wrong when you have a single cylinder miss on these. While it could be an injector, these injectors are pretty reliable and not problematic. I run good fuel, so that was not generally a concern, that it being a fuel injector. So let me show you what we did. So what we have found in the past, and you have seen, if you've been on my channel, you've seen videos that I have a top-down top scan. Top-down top scan will not work on the early, say roughly 96 to 2003 OBD2 stuff, because it doesn't have the CAN bus protocols and all that stuff. It uses a slower system to communicate with, and it won't communicate with the early OBD2 stuff. So I have, a while back, several years actually, bought what is the Xtool AD10, and this tool will communicate and give you some basic information, and it will also give you the trouble codes. So I hooked up this scan tool, and I'll get in here and I'll show you what we discovered. All right, so we've got the little Advancer AD10 hooked up. We click on visitor and let the AD10 start communicating with the ECM, and then it's going to allow me to do a scan. I'll go down here in a second, and first I need to change my settings. It comes, for whatever reason, it automatically defaults to metric settings, and well, I don't know those conversions. So now I can come down and begin to click on vehicle diagnostics. After you click on that, you click start scanning, and it connects to the vehicle, and well, it does a complete scan of all the modules that it can read on your vehicle. It goes through and either gives a check mark or it gives a red symbol, exclamation point symbol, to let you know that there's actually a problem. And as you can see, everything's checking off okay, with the exception of the engine. There's really nothing on the chassis that would have an ECM on this model of car. But you come down, you see it lists your fault details, and it says warning, one fault, and it is with the control system with the engine. So you click on fault details, and there it is, P301, cylinder 1 misfire detected. You click on the actual code there, and it gives you some detailed information, and gives you some basic steps and things to look at. The number one thing, which I replaced first, is the faulty spark plug. I knew that how old they were. And then it goes right into and says clogged fuel injector or faulty ignition coil. So we know immediately we can probably rule those out and move them down the list for the reasons I'll state later. The fuel injector harness open, like I said, again, scratch that. But like I was saying, it just comes down and gives you some things you can check. One of the things that's often overlooked and people don't really think about that could be a problem is the insufficient compression, because compression is often overlooked. A lot of people just totally miss that one, and normally thinking of fuel and fire, and the other part of that equation to make an engine run is the compression. But like I said, this gives you a list. It's not comprehensive, it's not all inclusive, but it just gives you a list of things to check. And this is kind of based on a coil on plug. If you just look at the way it reads in the cause of the fault, you just need to be thinking about what kind of system you have. Like mine is actual distributor and only has one coil. If it was a coil failure, it would either be multiple cylinder misfire, or it could be no run, no start at all. So, that's just something to keep in mind. Give you a few basics to get you a direction to move. So that's reviewing this information and knowing what my system was. That's what dialed me into probably a spark plug wire. Seems to be running pretty good right now, huh? Well, let's watch what happens when you put it under a load. Instantly misses. All right, one of the ways you can simulate putting your engine under load without actually having to go drive it is you take and put it in gear, pull the handbrake, and put your foot on the foot brake, and bring the RPM up, and that will simulate a load. So what's happening is it's at idle, it has enough spark to fire the cylinder, but under load, the fire breaks down. So. All right, so I have kept, like I said, a set of plug wires from a good set of plug wires that came off of my daughter's 99 Camry, because there was nothing wrong with them per se, other than they had some age, so I wanted to go ahead and change them out. So let's do that real quick. We'll throw, get in here and release it. Let's throw on the good used wire, and you can see it sticks up a little bit there. Get it lined up. I think we finally got it. All right, let's crank it up and do it again. Nice and smooth. All right, so let's talk about real quick about a couple of things. When you have a cylinder misfire like this, it can be problematic and cause you further problems, and why it's important to go ahead and get it fixed as fast as you can. First of all, when you have a cylinder that's misfiring the way this one was, and it was pretty much had gotten to where it was misfiring all the time, you were dumping raw gas into your exhaust system. That's one of the things that led me to also believe that the injector was firing just fine. And that was the fact that I could smell raw fuel when it was running. So that tells me that the injector was working. While that can't totally rule out the injector being a problem, it told me that it at least was getting fuel. So one of the things that dumping raw gas into your exhaust system can cause on a modern car is it can totally destroy your catalytic converter. It can cause it to overheat and disintegrate and melt. So you want to get that fixed relatively quickly. What I probably should have done in hindsight, and I thought about it when I was coming home, driving it home last night, is on this car, it's very easy to get to the electronic injectors. I probably should have taken that number one cylinder and unplugged it so that it wasn't dumping raw fuel into the cylinder. But these are Toyotas, and it'd probably be just fine, because I didn't, like I said, I didn't drive it in an extended period with it misfiring like that. All right, so we're going to talk about the ignition coils and such as that, and why it's not the coil on this one. This is a distributor style ignition, has one coil, It fires all 4 plugs in sequence. And if it had been the coil, I should have had either no run condition or a multiple cylinder misfire. This one showed a clear 301 code, which means that it was the number 1 cylinder that was not firing. All the others were working just fine. If you had a coil on plug situation, it could still be a coil not firing a spark plug. So what's it going to take to fix this car correctly? Well, if I was fixing this for a customer, I would suggest all new plugs, all new wires, a new cap, and a new rotor. But seeing as how I'm a mechanic and fix things as I go, I'm probably going to put a set of spark plug wires on it and let it go. The cap still appears to be okay. Everything is shiny, no corrosion inside. And I am going to be looking into possibly getting another distributor, since I do have that small known oil leak inside the cap. Again, like I said about that oil leak, it's very minor, and the oil's not getting slung on any of the contacts. So I know that that wasn't my problem. Putting a 1 plug wire on it and smoothing it out, that tells you exactly what your problem is. All right, so real quick on that Xtool AD10, well, if you want to look that up, they don't make that anymore. They now have an Xtool AD20. It looks like it has a few more features. I looked it up on Amazon. This AD10 I bought several years ago, and I don't think they're even available anymore. Pretty neat little tool for no more than it costs. If you have a newer vehicle, though, I still recommend the Top Don Top Scan. It seems to be a really well sorted tool, and I use it pretty regularly at work and at home on all of my newer stuff. So yeah, we're gonna get around here and hopefully get a new set of spark plug wires in the next day or two, and get her back in top form again, and get her back to making 28 miles to the gallon. So while I'm doing that, why don't you go out and watch another video? It's coming on the screen right now.